We are nearing the end of the best third-party feats for the various classes in D&D, which is exciting for me because I like ticking things off my list. I'm a simple man. I have a list. I wish to tick things from it. Strike things from it. Erase things from it. Anyway, I like doing things. Obviously, this is a heck of an intro. We're going to talk about sorcerers today and the magic that they hold within them and look at the feats which I think help make them stronger generally, or at least give you more options. So, slightly shorter than usual, I'd first like to thank my YouTube members. At the time of recording, that is the Zombie's Knees 6263, Levi probably. I swear I can read. Mike 27011 and Sensei Dragon. Thank you all very much for your support. It means a lot. You are welcome to become a YouTube member too if you would like to. Get you a little special area in the Discord if you join that. And I am working on figuring out what else it should also get you. I swear I'm still figuring this out. Please bear with me. But your patience and generosity and kindness and all of that good stuff is really appreciated. Anyway, that's me thanking people out of the way. Let's get into the actual video. First up, as is so often the case in these videos, and will probably be the case for both the Warlock and the Wizard videos too, we have Altered. It's from the fantastic Crooked Moon books. Definitely one of the best purchases you could make if you're looking at third-party stuff from last year. This gives you a few options, although one of them is superior to the others. You get aquatic adaptation, you can swim and breathe underwater, which is nice. You get natural weapons, which can actually be really handy with a really specific Warlock build, because it gives you a D8 weapon you can use as an unarmed strike as a natural weapon, basically. And you can boost your dark vision or give yourself dark vision too. The one that I like the most is the natural armor. It lets you give yourself an AC of 13 plus your dex modifier or 13 plus your con modifier. And for a caster, this allows you to completely make constitution your secondary stat. You can bump dexterity down to a tertiary or even below at that point and still maintain a relatively respectable AC. This obviously still works with anything like the Cloak of Protection or anything else that might boost your AC, so it's a handy thing to have. And it also means that even as a level 1 character, you're very likely to have an AC of at least 16, potentially up to 18 if you've got shield proficiency from something. So it's just a banger. Of course, if you don't like the idea of being experimented on and you're going for something a little bit different, you could also go for the Charm Twister option, which is also from the Crooked Moon. This gives you the ability to cast Bless once using the benefit, targeting any creatures carrying a wicked charm you've woven. There's no specific to that, but you can basically give one to each of your party members and bless them, which is always good. Also, as a magic action, you can weave some Spite, as you do, into a wicked charm that you've touched. You choose an ability, and it gives the creature that's holding it disadvantage, or if the charm is in the area the creature considers home, which allows you to be a bit sneaky about it all. This gives them disadvantage not only on their ability checks, like, let's say, insight or perception, but also on any attack rolls using the chosen ability too, which makes it very... It does give the creature a chance to save against it using a charisma saving throw, but charisma saving throws aren't especially good a lot of monsters, so that can be a good way to really mess up a creature. We've also got Cult Initiate, which is also from the Crooked Moon. The Crooked Moon has some really good, really good origin feats. This gives you 2 cantrips from the Warlock spell list, one of which is probably going to be Eldritch Blast, otherwise I don't really know where you're taking this, along with a level 1 spell from the Warlock spell list, which you can cast once for free, and you can use your spell slot otherwise. You can also change the spells as you level up, which is always handy. As I said, Eldritch Blast is really the one you're probably going with most of the time here for the cantrip, but the level 1 spells, you've got a few different options. I always like picking up more ritual spells when I can, but you can play it as you would like. That is the end of the origin feats, though. For general feats, we have Field Commander, which is a pet feat, if you will, of mine. Allows you to boost your charisma by 1, which is great. And as an action, you can issue a command to any ally within 60 feet that can hear you, which can then take an action as a reaction. It can take an attack, just one attack, the dash, dodge, hide, influence, search, study, or utilize action. It also gives you the tight formation feature, which means that while you are within 5 feet of 2 or more allies that don't have the incapacitated, condition, enemies can't get advantage on you, which is great for stopping things like pack tactics. It's just a very strong feat. I've mentioned this every time I talk about this, but I actually homebrewed this so it's a bonus action instead of your full action. It's a really good way to let people get more out of their bonus action. But yeah, it's great. A lightning caster is good for any spellcaster. This allows you to boost your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. And if you cast a cantrip with a casting time of an action that only targets one creature, you can then use your bonus action to target a second creature within that cantrip's range. Also, when you cast a spell as a reaction, you can not have that spell take up a spell slot, which means you kind of get one free shield or one free spiny shield or silvery barbs even for free once per long rest, which is pretty potent. There's an argument to be made here where if you make all of your Eldritch Blasts against one creature, technically that is a cantrip that targets a single creature at that point, and therefore you could theoretically use your bonus action to target a different creature, but you're gonna have to bargain with your DM on that one because I do think that's pushing your luck a little bit. Minor Corruption is from Tales from the Tall Grass. This doesn't have a stat boost associated with it, and I think it should. I think it should be intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. I'm hoping with the 2024 update that we are meant to be getting at some point that this is one of the changes that is made to this feat. But even without that, this can make a good late game feat option. It gives you a +1 bonus to your AC where you have less than half your hit points remaining, which can be very, very handy. It allows you to not use spellcasting focus for your spells, and you can ignore the material components for spells unless the component indicates a cost or is consumed by the spell. And as a reaction, you can temporarily negate damage equal to 3 times your level, taking any of the excess damage as normal, and at the end of your next turn you make a con save, with the DC either being 10 or a third of the damage you would have taken, whichever number is higher, and then you can either not take the damage or you take the damage, basically. You do have to keep making that con save though, so make sure your con saves are good. Constitution could also be a good stat boost for that. Sangromantic Initiate is a Grim Hollow feat, and I also think this should boost con intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. I don't know why it doesn't. I don't think it's strong enough to warrant it not boosting a stat. It gives you 2 d12s you can expend instead of your hit die for your Sangromancy spells, which the ones from Grim Hollow all require you to expend a hit dice, so it's... I think I've used both of the die and dice there interchangeably and incorrectly on both instances, which is quite impressive. Anyway, this lets you replace those, and it also lets you learn a Sangromancy spell from any spell list to which you have the spell slots for. The Sangromancy spells are generally fairly potent. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Some of them are very niche, but things like the Crimson Lash are just very, very good if you want to have a go at pretending to be a martial character. Finally, we've got another Obejima one, Vocalist. I do think this should just boost charisma. This allows you, when you cast a spell that either targets a character or forces them to make a saving throw, you can choose to enhance the spell through song. You can basically boost the DC save or your attack attempt by your proficiency bonus again, but you need to succeed on a performance check, which is 10 plus the spell's level. You can only do this once per day, but it's a cool concept. I think once per day is a bit limiting, but it might be really, really helpful. I think it's a cool one. I think at the moment it's a little undercooked for 2024 D&D or 5.5 D&D, as we're meant to call it now, but it's a cool concept. And I'm in favour of giving away feats to players anyway, so give this to your sorcerers and your bards and your warlocks if they're a bit fancy. But that is it for this feat video. I hope you enjoyed the feats and got some inspiration there. I find the charisma casters are a little harder to pick out feats for. There's a lot of really niche feats in the third-party world, which I'm super happy that they exist, but I think as a player would be really hard to justify taking. So I try to just choose the ones where you could theoretically justify taking them, and then, as I said throughout, I do generally suggest asking also for a stat boost if it doesn't already give one, because you shouldn't be punished for taking a less optimal choice. But we are nearing the end of this series. We just have 2 more after this now, and then I will be free from my third-party feat. Cage of Feats sounds horrible. Nope, not enjoying that at all. Okay, let's move on. I think after I've finished this, what I will do is, for the reviews I make, I will go through the subclasses in one video, and if there are a substantial number of feats, I will go through those in a separate video and talk about which classes I think would suit each feat. But as this is coming out likely 2 to 3 weeks after I record it, and we should be due a book around then too, I guess we'll see how that works out, won't we? In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you are doing well and continue to do well, and that you have a wonderful time ahead of you as the weather gets warmer. For those of you that like that, I do not. I am a Darkless enjoying little goblin, and I would much happier if it was nighttime all the time. That is a me problem. I am a weirdo. I'm fully aware of this. But like and subscribe. I said that, right? Probably. I'm a really bad YouTuber. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.